This is the part in the Lifetime movie version where I get up to pee.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores. Make contact.
The Armchair Quarterback's wake-up show, the rock and roll of sports talk radio. So turn that auto-tune and mumble crap off from the other guys.
This time I'm gonna kick that football clear to the moon.
Amazon Prime members now get free grocery delivery with a minimum order. You'll get your groceries with 2-hour delivery. So in that time, you can finally figure out where the biblioteca is, learn how to play the acoustic guitar, and I guess get a puka shell necklace. Do a makeup tutorial, but realize halfway contouring is hard, and you're beautiful just as you are. Whatever it is you're doing with your time, your shopper will be carefully picking out your favorite organic meats, produce, dairy, and snacks while providing contactless delivery to your door. Free 2-hour grocery delivery, now with Prime.
6 rounds. TJ Hoshimazone. Yes, lock it up.
Who?
What? TJ, how's the vanilla? All right. TJ, who's your mama?
You mean TJ Hushmanzada from the Bengals?
Put him on the board. Hoshimazole. Got it. Championship.
Make sure to join the Armchair Quarterbacks right here. We'll answer all your questions, pickups, trades, you name it. You want to win your league? Then listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. And don't be scared to tap that app. Find the Armchair Quarterbacks app today.
Fantasy football time. It's fantasy football time.
I should have gone to law school or high school.
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Hey, it's a new decade, people. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines 2 of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Infinium Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
They're bringing me back. Yeah, I'm the Wiz again.
I'm the Wiz. I'm the Wiz.
What about your fact-checking job?
Oh, here's the fact. I'm the Wiz.
I'm the Wiz and nobody beats me.
The Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live. We cover Braves baseball, Red Sox, Yankees, Rays, Cubs and Cardinals, and the rest of Major League Baseball every day. Subscribe and like us today. Your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast. Calling all baseball fans, Yankee fans, Red Sox fans, the Tampa Bay Rays. It's the Catbird Seat. Monday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, only on Armchair Quarterbacks Show's YouTube Live. We dive into the American League East, point of views of the fans. Teamus and the Red Sox, Angelo and his New York Yankees, and Florida's own Mac McGee's Tampa Bay Rays. It's the Catbird Seat. Monday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, only on Armchair Quarterbacks Show's YouTube Live.
Stretch? What do I need a stretch for? You seen a dog touch his toes before he chased a car? They do. No, they don't. They just go.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
But what the hell, boy?
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
got to celebrate our differences. We got to celebrate our differences.
Ooga booga doo, ooga booga doo.
We got to celebrate our differences.
Nacho taco, chimichanga.
Armchair.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Friday, August 6th in Major League Baseball. Can we interest you in some Cubs and White Sox rivalry action beginning at 2:20 Eastern? The Southsiders head to the North Side. Carlos Rodon and Kyle Hendricks head-to-head. Should be a great one. At 7:05 Eastern, Marco Gonzalez and the Seattle Mariners will try to upset the Yankees and Jordan Montgomery. The Bronx Bombers squaring in on the lefties' 5.48 ERA. At 7:05, it's Ryan Yarbrough and the Rays going up against John Means in Baltimore and the Orioles. Red Sox Blue Jays 7:07, Eovaldi and Alex Manoah. Doesn't get much better than that in the AL East. 7:20 Eastern, the Nationals begin their series in Atlanta against the Braves, Kyle Muller and Eric Fetty. At 8:15 Eastern, Mike Minor and his Kansas City Royals renew the Show Me State rivalry as they head to St. Louis with Kim on the hill. 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, the Mets and Marcus Stroman are in Philadelphia against Kyle Gibson. What a pitching matchup and rivalry game this should be. The battle to the top of the NL East. Matt Manning, the Detroit Tigers, are in Cleveland against Cal Quantrill at 7:10 Eastern. Brew Baker and the Pirates are set to take on the Reds and Wade Miley. Twins and Astros at 8:10 Eastern. Bailey O'Bear versus Zach Greinke. At 8:10 Eastern, this should be a hell of a series. The San Francisco Giants and Logan Webb are in Milwaukee with the Brewers sending Corbin Burns to the mound. Get your popcorn ready. 8:40 Eastern, Marlins Rockies on ESPN+. Gomber takes the hill versus Alcantara. Two teams not doing that great, but two extremely talented young arms. At 9:40 Eastern, you got Fultonevich and the Rangers at the A's versus Chris Bassett. And at 10:10, the Freeway Series, Angels and Dodgers. Jaime Barria and David Price are set to clash. And the San Diego Padres and Ryan Weathers host the Arizona Diamondbacks and Caleb Smith. That puts a cap on your Friday night action. The Commission on Chicago Landmarks unanimously voted Thursday to approve Wrigley Field plans to build a 2-story sports book adjacent to Wrigley Field. The addition will take at least a year to build. It will be open to the public before, during, and after games. And while fans will be able to enter Wrigley Field from the inside of the sports book, they won't be required to be attending the game to make bets inside. The sportsbook will be located outside the southeast corner of the stadium and will be open year-round. The Cubs entered a multi-year agreement with DraftKings in 2020 with plans for the two to open the first betting venues at a professional sports stadium. The Florida Gators announced they will spend at least part of their training camp in a hotel as Dan Mullen searches for ways to avoid the COVID-19 outbreak within the program, with rumors that his team is one of the lower vaccinated schools. Quote, "We're going to have some protocols that we put in place. I think everyone's a little bit more educated about it now going forward. I think there's a lot of familiarity with it right now." Mullen has had at least 2 assistants and about 30 players test positive for the virus following a road trip to Texas A&M last October. Everyone on the team plane, about 75 in all, were quarantined. The states of Florida, Georgia, and Louisiana account for nearly 40% of all the nation's hospitalizations throughout the U.S. And in Bloomington, Indiana, Big Ten country, Michael Penix Jr. is set to start the season opener at Iowa on September 5th. Penix's return has the Hoosiers thinking big again. Michael Penix Jr. suffered an ACL tear last year, and still Indiana cracked the top 10 for the first time since 1967, posting its best conference record at 6-1, more than a half century, and came very close to playing for the third Big Ten title in school history. With Penix Jr. restricted from contact, backup quarterback Jack Tuttle coming off shoulder surgery, and third-string quarterback Dexter Williams sitting out, tearing an ACL in spring practice, McCulley may need to take snaps. Donovan McCulley is a 6'5", 200-pound freshman quarterback from Indianapolis. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast. Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live, or catch the instant replay. Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, the Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern sports talk. Good morning. I'm Mac McGee, and I don't know much, but I know one thing. Justin is probably not going to make it. He's got some issues that we won't get into, so we wish him well. But Matt Carr will be here in just a moment. So fear not, my friends, fear not. Football Friday, the show goes on. The show goes on.
So listen, I got to be honest. We sort of have another reason for asking you here.
We want to have a baby, but we can't do it on our own.
It could be because of a game me and my frat brothers used to play where we kicked each other in the balls over and over. But the doc says there's no telling.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Yeah, howdy, hi. Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. Mac McGee. Mr. Matt Carr should be here momentarily, so he is rushing to get into his seat. We got the news just a couple of minutes ago that Justin wasn't going to be able to make it. We wish him well. We're going to go ahead and dive right into Texas A&M football. We kind of had this slated for a little later in the show, but we're going to go ahead and do it now because just getting off the show, the warm-up show on Friday mornings with Tony that we do from 8 to 8:30. We were talking SEC football, and we were talking about the Texas A&M right now is preseason power ranking on ESPN, not ranking, but power ranking. The actual rankings come out. It's either next week or the week after. But you're looking at a Texas A&M team who's being expected to be number 6 overall in the country. And look, we all know that is a steep hill to climb for Texas A&M. They lost their quarterback that is, I swear, it feels like the guy's been there for 6.5 years. Kellen Mond. He still could have had a year of eligibility left, but he was drafted in the NFL, so he is gone. You've got a team that is returning a lot on defense, and they're returning their line. And I think Texas A&M in the trenches is going to be fine. I think they're going to do a very good job all in all as we go ahead and get out of batting practice, dive in the first quarter. Want to go ahead and kill that real quick because, look, Texas A&M, they've got a favorable schedule. but their quarterback, the quarterback situation is going to be the one that I don't really know what in the hell to expect. So with all that being said, they've got Kent State, they've got Colorado and New Mexico to start the whole thing off. So you got to figure that they're 3-0, even with Colorado improving, they're still going to be in. You got to figure Texas A&M is still going to be a 10 to 14 point favorite in that game. So with all that being said, as Matt is joining us right now, so we're going to go ahead and bring him in as we normally do. He demanded a grand entrance.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Look, you can stay here in the big leagues and play by the rules, or you can go back to the farm club in Aurora. It's your choice.
Yes, and it's the choice of a new generation.
I've been hoodwinked. I've been bamboozled.
Grand entrance, baby.
I've been bankless.
Grand entrance. I don't know what you want about a grand entrance. Anything more, they'll probably rip it off of YouTube and say that is just gross. How are you, my friend?
I am currently waiting my results for my second COVID, so we'll see how that goes.
You're okay. Are you not feeling well?
No, I've been down for all week, and finally I went to the doctor yesterday. Got my COVID test, and they gave me a rapid, and they said I was negative, but they're like, that's only 30% accurate. So do you want to send it off? And I was like, yes.
30% accurate.
That's the last time I go to that. That's the last time this year I go to that van. and I don't think that was a COVID test, so I've never took my pants down before. Not this time. Not again.
I didn't know those things were only 30%. Wow.
Yeah. And they're like, well, we can send it off. It'll be 99% accurate. I was like, yeah, we'll do that. They're like, it's 24 hours, though. I was like, I can wait. I can dig it.
We don't think you have cancer, but that's because leaves didn't fall. Now, that isn't 100% accurate. Would you like to actually first actually do a scan of your body? Nah, man. That'd be fine. 30% accurate. That'd be fine.
We're not sure if you have it, but we also didn't give you a test.
Right. Well, I hope you feel better. So when you get that, so you are at work and they're allowing you to work?
Yeah, I'm at work. During work, I mask up. The results come back. Like I said, I took it yesterday at like 8:30 in the morning, and I got my negative result back. So I came to work, and if I get a positive, it is what it is. I mean, I'll go home.
Right. Well, best wishes to you, but that sucks. I mean, far as I know, I haven't gotten it yet. Now you did get vaxxed, right?
I did not.
Oh, I thought you got vaxxed.
I did not. I'm not getting the old jabby.
Oh, you're an idiot. Okay, so you got this coming to you. All right, never mind. I thought you got vaxxed. I thought for sure if anyone as bad as you went through it the last time that you would definitely get the vax. But okay.
Ashley's mother-in-law did. She got the Johnson & Johnson. Or Ashley's mom did. My mother-in-law. She got the Johnson, whatever the one shot was. Yeah. And we're just. I mean, we're gonna. I'm whenever Ashley gets it, I'll get it. So it is what it is. I'm gonna get it. So.
Don't take the easy way out. The one jab. I'm not trusting the one jab. That's about as. That has me believing about as much as the 30% accurate. You know, the Johnson & Johnson. The only person that I know that got the Johnson & Johnson still got sick as hell. So,
my niece, she's just turned 16. She had got the double shot. I forgot which one it was, but she just got COVID last week after getting vaccinated. So, I mean, I don't.
Well, you know, you can get COVID after the vaccination. The thing is if you had the vaccination, the symptoms are much less. So that's
100% true because her friends that I guess she got it from or whatever, the group,
Mhm.
She's the one that had the vaccination and said she was doing a lot better than they were.
Which is the whole point of vaccinations, right? It's just like when you get the flu shot. It's not supposed to mean that you're invincible and you'll never get the flu. So it means that if you get it, your symptoms are less severe because your body already is building up the antibodies in there.
Right.
That's the biggest misconception. 'Cause I see this on social media where all the anti-vaxxer morons are up there going, yeah, you're telling me you got sick, you got that vax. And then 6 days later they pronounce that guy dead, and they're like, okay.
I'm not an anti-vax person by any means. I don't get a flu shot just because I honestly don't get sick. When I finally January 1 this year.
But when you got it last time, from what I remember, when you got COVID the first time, weren't you really sick?
No, I was fine. My oldest was
I thought
fine.
you were.
Ashley was bad.
Okay.
And then my at the time my 8-month-old, we had thought she was just teething symptoms like snotty and fever and all that. So we took her to the doctor. She had it. She knocked it out in about 24 hours. My wife, it took her about 7 days, and she was rough. She was the worst.
Okay.
Person I know of it. So
I thought y'all were both that way. I knew Ashley, but I thought you were okay. So, anyways, the point being, I don't know. I'm not going to do a PSA announcement about it. I just think that people are better off if they do it. And if you're Kirk Cousins, you're an idiot because you're going to play a contact sport all year long. You see him pound the table about how he's not going to take the vax. But I'm going to keep up with the protocols. It doesn't matter the protocols because it's a contact sport, and there's going to be someone who's vaxxed that's carrying it that you're going to come in close contact with, and you're going to get it, and then you're going to be like, "Oh, this is terrible." It's like, dude, why not? I mean, if there's a reason why you can't get it, I totally understand that. There's some people who, with their immune system and whatnot, that they cannot take it, but.
Right.
If you're a normal Joe, man, it's to me, it's better to have it and have. Look, I'll give you an example. It is breaking out at my wife's work right now, and she's fine. Now, they started making everyone wear masks a couple of days ago, and I asked her about the people who are getting it. She said, "Well, a couple of them who are really sick, they told us they were vaccinated, but no one believed them because they were constantly anti-vaxxers. And then all of a sudden one day they came in, hey, by the way, I got vaxxed." So, buddy, the proof is going to be in the pudding.
Do you remember in Wayne's World when they got the backstage passes to Alice Cooper?
What's that?
In Wayne's World when they got the backstage passes to Alice Cooper and they walk around like with their chest.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
When I get mine, I will do that.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, dude, you lie about it, you're just putting yourself in an even worse position because if someone thinks you've been vaxxed, then they're gonna relax their protocols around you, right? It's like, dude. So we're pretty sure that the couple of people that said they were lied about it because there was a couple of things that came up right before they got sick. They didn't seem like they knew what they were talking about, like the actual process that went through, because she talked about it like 2 days later. She goes, remember when I told you about so and so? Yeah. Well, now they're sick as hell. I'm like, well, don't worry, you got it now.
Right.
Idiots. But anyways, I just hope more people get it, because if more people get it, this thing will go away. That's just the scientific fact about the entire thing. Right. I get it that a lot of people are scared of it, and I get people are scared of needles, and people are also just scared of what a vaccine could do, and I get that part of it, but I don't know. I don't believe that their number one goal was to wipe out the human race. I'm not going to go down that they're just trying to jab you because they're trying to get rid of us all. Then what is the end game in that? Oh,
I mean, yeah. So it's either we're going to die of a pandemic or die of the vaccination. So,
right. It's just like, anyways, I'm glad we got it. I said,
I'm not anti-vax least bit.
I get that. There are a lot of people that are, and it concerns me for them, especially some of them, I mean, look, if you're a kid, I don't think you should get the vax, to be perfectly honest with you. They have very small symptoms and very low chance of anything. Like, there's been like 9 children in the world that have died from COVID, right? So like, what are we talking about? those 9 kids probably would have bit the bullet, stubbing their toe. The tetanus probably would have got them.
They never would have made it.
Right, exactly. But anyways, real quick about Texas A&M, and then we'll switch gears. I was in the middle of going over their schedule real quick. So the college football rankings come out, and I know you're not prepared for this because we didn't plan on you being here for this segment, but the short of it is Texas A&M is ranked number 6 in the power rankings. And I just highly question that because they're having to implement a brand new quarterback. Kellen Mond is gone, and I get that Jimbo Fisher is a quote unquote quarterback whisperer, but even with everything coming back, I'm looking at their schedule, and once they get into conference play, they've got to play Alabama. They're going to play at LSU. I think the reason why they have such a high ranking is because they do have a pretty easy schedule outside of that. They're going to obviously have to play Auburn. They've got to play their division, but they're out of division conference. It doesn't get much better than getting to play Missouri and South Carolina as your crossover. I'm not familiar with Texas A&M on who their crossover rival is. I would think it's probably Missouri, but I really don't know. But regardless, they're playing Missouri and South Carolina out of division, and then they got their 8 division games, and then they play cupcakes like Prairie View, New Mexico, and Kent State. Colorado's a decent out of conference game.
Right.
This team, even as good as their record may be, I don't think they're going to be ranked that high because they're not going to have they're going to lose to Alabama. I would be shocked if they didn't. It wouldn't shock me if they lose to Ole Miss because it is in Mississippi, and Ole Miss should have a pretty good offense this year. I think they'll end up with like 2 or 3 losses, and that's not going to be number 6 in the country. They'll probably go to some version of a New Year's Bowl. But A&M fans are going to start asking the question. They brought Jimbo to be the man, and now they're going to have Texas and Oklahoma coming into the SEC. If Jimbo muddles around every year around 9-3, 8-4, and never gets into the playoffs, I don't think he's going to make it to the end of his contract.
I don't know because he's still putting wins on the table. But that's the same way with Mullen. I mean, Mullen's getting you into a New Year's 6th game every year he's been there, but not getting the playoffs. So same with him. How many years does he have left doing that? I love him. I love Mullen. I think he's doing a great job. We're not getting there. We're not going to. Alabama's going to be there. It's just I just don't know if Mullen and Jimbo are in the same kind of situation. They're putting up good numbers. They're making fans happy. I mean, how long do you need the championship with Alabama up there? Because they're going to be there every year.
Well, here's the thing. They've had one good year at A&M, and it was last year.
Right.
It was a pandemic year, and nobody knows what that means and what that meant. But the other 2 years he's had at Texas A&M are not $75 million worthy years. 9-4 and 8-5.
Right.
I get it. I get it that he's won all of his bowl games, but he played NC State in one of them, and I don't even remember who he played in the other bowl game. And then he won the Orange last year. Last year was a good year, and that's what they expected out of him. And I'm not saying he can't continue to do that, but if he goes back to this 8-5, 9-4 nonsense for $75 million in the state of Texas, that's not going to do it. It's just,
I honestly only see them losing one over under 1.5. I see Alabama and then LSU the final game.
I think they got a better chance of losing too. I really don't think LSU is going to be well. The jury's out on LSU. I'll put it that way.
I'll let him be down 2 years in a row.
LSU lost their starting left tackle a couple weeks ago, and that's a bigger deal than people realize. The quarterback that was supposed to be competing for the starting job, He's out for the year. Max Johnson is now the starter. I think Max Johnson would have been the starter, but he is now definitely the starter.
Right.
So LSU, to me, I don't know what the year will hold, because when you lose your starting left tackle, a guy who was preseason All-American, that's a big deal. And especially because LSU is that's going to be a good game. Don't get me wrong. But I would be really concerned with the game at Ole Miss, because Ole Miss is going to be able to put up points. I think Texas A&M in the trenches is going to be fine. My question is, how good is that quarterback going to be?
Right. Yeah, because Ole Miss is going to score 30 points a game. I mean, with Kevin back there slinging the ball or coaching. So that'll be a fun game to watch too. But Missouri's always. I think that'll be a close game. Auburn, I have no idea about Auburn this year. Bo Nix, is he still there? I mean, is that still their man? Yeah. So I think they win that game. And I said it just depends on LSU at the end of the year. Like, I think it's that healthy.
I think Bo Nix is going to have a better year, but Auburn's going to have a worse record. Auburn's got a pretty tough schedule, and the rest of Auburn's going to be really. It's a rebuild, and Bo Nix is going to be exciting to watch. I think you're going to see improvement by Bo Nix, but that's not going to necessarily mean a better overall season. Bo Nix is not going to be able to carry that team up against Alabama, against LSU, against A&M by himself. And so Auburn's going to be on the cusp of being ranked. They'll make a bowl game, and that's about it. The Florida Gators, by the way, they're ranked number 12 in the power ranking. And we talked about this in depth on the Gators and Golf with Tony. So, all you Gator fans, if you really want to get some actual knowledge on the Gators, make sure to tune back into that. I'm going to put the replay up here in a little while. Them to me, number 12 is probably about right, because I could see them sneaking up a little higher. I could also see them being back. I could see at the end of the year, the Gators could be somewhere around 7th or 8th in the country. I could also see where they're like 20th, because Emory Jones, who knows what you're going to get out of him. Their defense was terrible last year.
It was, and I didn't realize the coordinator was still there. I was like, well, he's definitely he's still there. And we couldn't, with that offense we had last year, we couldn't hang.
This is radio.
Yeah, it has to be. And like I said, we lost our Tony Pitt's trash last year. We lost 3 of our best offensive players that couldn't hang. They couldn't carry our defense last year. So how the hell is it going to do this year with unknowns? So, and I know obviously Tony knows a lot more than I do, obviously, about that. But that's my just quick take on it. Our defense is still going to be terrible, and we lost our best offensive players.
Well, I would highly recommend you watching the first part of that show today, because he gets into. We're going to do a complete Gator breakdown here in a few weeks, but he gets into it pretty well. And the biggest thing with the Gators is they've got to find a run game, because Emory Jones is not going to Kyle Trask you to victories. He's not going to go out there and throw for 400 yards and 6 touchdown passes, but he's a superb athlete. And Mullen's always been good about figuring out college. Do I think Emory Jones is going to be like an NFL, quote unquote lottery pick? No, but Emory, you don't need to be that in college football. You just have to be a good college quarterback, and that's all they're looking for. Right. That's the same thing we've got going on in Tallahassee. I think Milton coming back for his 17th year of eligibility, transferring over from UCF means that all of a sudden, 20 years from now, we're going to be looking at him going into the Hall of Fame. No, we're just looking for a good college quarterback this year. We want a guy who can actually get the ball to go forward and not backward. And that's a good
plan. That's a good plan. That's the nose.
It is. Let's take a really, really quick break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the National Football League and the NBA that Matt Carr has personally let go to hell in a handbasket in just a few weeks. All right, we'll be back in a flash here on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Keep it locked in here to CBS Sports Radio. Saturday mornings, 8:30 Eastern. Dixie Football Nation is back and better than ever. We've got Tony Agolini, Matt Carr, Tones Ariola, Bobby and Angelo, along with Mac McGee this fall. Dixie Football Nation heads to the gridiron, talking ACC, SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big games throughout the college football land. That's Dixie Football Nation, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterback Show's YouTube channel, going live. Or catch the instant replay.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores and in all Seattle Elysian locations. Make contact.
The Armchair Quarterback's wake-up show, the rock and roll of sports talk radio. So turn that auto-tune and mumble crap off from the other guys.
At Jewelers Mutual, we're a little obsessed with jewelry. Obsessed like auctioneers with talking fast.
50, we're going to hit sold.
Pop stars with auto-tune. And dentists with asking questions.
How did he propose?
After they've put their hands in your mouth.
Great.
Yes, we've made jewelry our obsession for over 100 years. We love it so much we named our kids Ruby, Amber, and Opal.
Venti soy latte for Opal?
At Jewelers Mutual, we insure jewelry and only jewelry, which is why people who are also obsessed with jewelry trust us with theirs.
Le'Veon Bell, he put out a single for people to listen to on Twitter of a rap album that he's really proud of. He asked for people to critique it. Keenan Allen, the receiver of the Chargers, came back with the trash emoji.
Appreciate your honesty.
And what's even better, I can't do it justice because we're on radio. You've got to see the video. The video that he put up. Oh my God. It's like the most funny and exciting thing I have ever seen because it's like really bad late 80s, early 90s rap video. But anyways, the video is the best part of the whole thing. He's got a hoodie on. It's staged almost like black and white. He's like under a bridge somewhere where there's like a bonfire going.
Hard times.
So like, yeah.
Hard times.
Hard times for a guy making millions.
He can relate.
But the funniest part is when he's got the hoodie on, he's doing poses and stuff like that and kind of jiving around. And then this is the funniest part. Out of nowhere, sorry, I can't get it out. He comes up to the screen. So in other words, like
from the Muppets or something?
Almost like the Muppets.
When you see just the figure just come straight up.
Yes, the gig comes straight up while he's also in the background. It's like the worst thing put together ever. I don't know how to edit a video. We could do better than this. I'm telling you.
Who's the director, Pouncey?
Got skills, got stamina, got hands of stone like the champ from Panama. Body drop for body shot.
Good morning. Welcome back. From Le'Veon Bell to Max Kellerman's rap album, baby. We got you covered with all the great music that has been released in the 21st century. We're back here on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Matt Carr and Mac McGee here on CBS Sports Radio and the YouTube channel. Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube. Check it out today. Okay. So we get past college football, and I'm so glad football season's here because it just like the conversation never ends, right?
Season here. Season is here.
Last night, how much of that game did you watch?
I watched it was on. I watched the first drive for them to go down and get a field goal, and then I went to another room and lived my life. I was surprised Claypool was playing that. That did surprise me watching that. I was surprised he played as much as he did.
Starting to notice something here. So I went to NFL.com while you were talking. They've got an ad up. I guess it's from last night. They just, or maybe they're actually talking about next on September 9th, the extra kickoff. But it says, tune in early. I found your doppelganger. How many times have people stopped you on the street and said, are you Ed Sheeran?
Is that a brother?
Do you know who Ed Sheeran is?
Yeah. I do. Oh, wait, are you talking about the singer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he is.
Oh, no. Who the hell else? No, I'm talking about Ed Sheeran, my postman.
Hey, I know him.
You put a ball cap on backwards, and then you put a ball cap on backwards. Give him COVID and a beard, man. I'm telling you, it's a definite. For people that actually give a damn about what happened last night.
Are you one of those people?
No, I actually thought about, and I wish I would have. I said I was going to bang the under on the over under, and ends up 19. I don't know what the over under was. I guarantee you it was less than 20. But it just slipped my mind until after kickoff. I was like, oh man.
I actually watched more Braves than I did that last night, actually.
Yeah. So I had the Braves on, but I was listening to the football because I just wanted to hear the conversation, and I needed a break from listening to Chip Carey and Meathead. What the hell's his name? Jeff Francoeur sit there and tell me about how everything is rosy and pretty and how the Braves make no mistakes. And I'm like, would y'all just quit sucking up to the man?
They just swept in a game and a half out. Let them have their moment. They
did sweep them, but you missed. I think you probably missed the night before where Chip Carey, I almost had a stroke yesterday on the show talking about this. Chip Carey comes in, and to cut to the chase, he said that we had 5 closers on the team now after the trade. Because we have 5 guys that could close a game out. I was like, we've made a trade for 1, and we got one of the worst bullpens in baseball. How the hell do we go from having half a closer to 5?
I about texted you last night. It was 8-4 in the 9th when Will or whoever came in closing for Atlanta.
Will Smith.
And, Will Smith. I was like, are we safe?
Yeah. But anyways, the point is the bullpen's been pitching better, but for him to sit there saying, oh, we got 5 closers. Dude, if you got 5, you got none. It's like saying you got 5 quarterbacks. We got 5 quarterbacks to go out there and play this year. Oh, right. Man. Oh, man, we're not even going to make a bowl game. That's the first thing. We have 5 closers. We have 12 starting pitchers. Oh, man. So what you're saying is 30 games out of first place. It's like anytime you hear that.
Sounds familiar.
But the game itself, I honestly might have watched 4 plays.
Yeah.
And usually it was because they reacted to something. I looked at the replay. But I was looking at that, and then I was flipping around to other baseball action, and I did have the Olympics on time to time. Yeah. Look, NBC, can you do me a favor? When you put a description down, and you tell me the track and field is going to be on, I don't want to flip over and watch this sissy power walking that went on for hours. So I put it on the one device that it's kind of hard to explain. Until you've been in my house to see how it's set up, where I have all these devices set up. One of them just sits off over the fire mantle, and when I go to change it, I just leave the remote over there, and I don't move it. And a lot of times that thing is on like CBS Sports HQ, where they're just constantly running. It's kind of like the old school ESPN News, and so I'll keep that up there in case something breaks, and I know to add it to the show, right? But I put that on. And then I left it alone, and we sat down. I'm working on the show. And I left it alone. That's it. Like for like an hour or so, it was damn power walking. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to see something that I can do. I get it
very well.
I get it that you screwed up and made this an Olympic sport. Okay, there's a lot of dumb things in Olympic sports. Doesn't mean you have to televise it. The revolution does not have to be televised.
We watched the volleyball last night. That was our
volleyball. I will watch men's and women's. It's fun. Yeah. I love volleyball. I won't watch like the tour, right? Anyone says that, oh man, you want to watch the beach tours? Like you got to get your hand out of your pants.
You should have saw her in September.
Yeah. The only reason why you're watching that, buddy, is because you're all alone. I like watching the volleyball because it's a very simple sport to figure out, right?
Right.
Badminton, go screw, and just go screw. I'm not watching
have
badminton.
Have you watched any of the NBA or the basketball?
No, not a bit. It's dull to me. I don't. we should win the gold medal. And if we don't, then that's our fault. Until it becomes a situation where either A, the professionals are so good from other countries that we would have to worry about it, or B, we go back to the college players. It's not fun to me. And I don't like the fact that we half-ass it. And and the point being on that is, if this is really going to be the pros of pros, you're going to let all the pros in. Why isn't LeBron James in it, right? I may hate him, but why isn't LeBron James in the Olympics? Why? So it's just, and you're not going to get that, whatever the hell that 3-on-3 crap was.
I didn't watch any of that. I saw you definitely talking about that, but I didn't watch that at one bit.
I mean, really? Well, because I'll put a device on, and then, like I said, I'll lay a remote down, and then all of a sudden it'll pop up and go, what in the hell am I watching here? This, because basketball wasn't enough. You had to come up with a second medal for basketball. That's asinine. Yeah. I mean, that's like them finally putting football in the Olympics, and we're going to do 7-on-7. We're also going to do a 5-on-5 flag version, and we're going to do one version where you can only play zone defense. I mean, it's going to.
That's probably not far off, dude. They'll probably have a flag version of that because they'll probably try to get football Olympics. I would not doubt that at all, actually.
You know what? If it were flag, I would watch it. If it were anything else, I'm not going to watch it because I get enough football for college and the NFL. I don't need to see us just run ramshot over France and professional football.
It is funny trying to talk to your 5-year-old, like how important the Olympics are. Like it's only 4 years. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be on next week or whatever. But she said, well, we can watch a little bit of that, but then we can watch blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, we're watching this.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, be honest with you, I think it is important to let them know, because I can remember as a young kid getting interested and get sucked into the Olympics because my mom laid out the fact, I don't know, the first one that I really remember was when I would have been around 6 or 7 years old, and her telling me that we won't get this again for 4 years. And when you're like 7 and you're hearing 4 years, you're like, dude, that's half my lifetime.
Right.
Like 4 years. Well, we got to watch it now. This will never come back on. Right. You figure I'll never see it again. As you get older, you realize I have 4 years. That's just like, I don't know. That's like 3 weeks.
And then when they switched it to 2 years for, winter, summer, then it's like, which I like. I barely even remember them doing it all in one. I barely remember that.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty good idea, but I will say this: when they did it all in one, it was the Olympic year, and you got invested in it for the entire year. It was kind of cool. I understood why they did it, but I also, to be honest with you, I watched more of it because I knew that both of them weren't coming back for 4 years. So I would watch more. I don't watch as much Winter Olympics as I do Summer Olympics, but in theory, I guess the winter will be back next year because 2022, and then now we're only have a 3-year part from the Olympics this time because it'll be back in 24, assuming that they don't, although it is an election year, so they might come up with another variant to prevent us from going to the Olympics. They got about two years to come up with that concoction.
Right.
Which means we have 2.5 years to come up with the vaccine. Okay. All right. But anyways, as far as the NFL, the preseason will start next week in earnest. All right. So will you watch much of it at all?
Man, honestly, probably not. I'll probably do, just because Allie's getting into sports right now. Mm-hmm. And school, she's starting school, so it'll probably I'll have it on like we did last night. Like she had an open house last night for her kindergarten, so we did that. Got home, went to eat and stuff. So it was on. And the same way it'll be on. But I mean, let's say Sundays is going to be dedicated to. I told you that a couple weeks ago. We're going to watch for regular season. Preseason is garbage, and even the NFL knows it's garbage.
Yeah, I'll watch. So I'll have them all recorded because they'll rerun them all on NFL Network, and I will watch the very beginning of most of the games.
Right.
Now I'm not gonna. I don't care about the deep dive on who the Lions and Bills 4 stringers are on next week on NFL Network on Friday night, and I'm like sitting there, with the with the pen and paper, go, oh, well, I'll tell you what they really need to do. Who cares? Titans and Falcons will start their preseason next Friday.
I mean, that'll be on. Obviously, I'll watch the first, like you said, first quarter, first couple of drives, and that'll be.
And I'll get the replay. What I will be more interested in, just because it'll be here on locally. I think they're also on. Yeah, they're on NFL Network too that night. The Jaguars Saturday night host the Browns, and because it's the first time that we should get a look at Trevor Lawrence, that'll be fun. I'll watch the Jets because I want to see what Zach Wilson is up to. I want to see, assuming he plays, if Burrow is back and healthy and upright. But when it comes to the teams with veterans, I have less in. In other words, I don't really care about watching the Bucks. I don't really care about watching Kansas City, but I care about watching the younger players, because you can see, oh man, this dude's gonna be a bust already, or hey, this guy might be worth drafting in fantasy. That's realistically my only reasoning for watching anything. Right. It's fantasy. But like I said, it's all recorded. I will not dedicate an afternoon.
Right.
I'll joke with my wife and say we're going to. She's like, what?
Yeah, but back in the day, if you remember, like the game 3 of preseason was like, okay, the starter's going to play into the third quarter, yada, yada. You'd watch those games, but now, I mean, nobody plays anymore. They don't care.
You'll get that in week 2 this year. You'll get week 2 will be the week where everyone plays 2 to 3 quarters. And then week 3, even though they get the extra week off, I still think week 3 will be a dress rehearsal in the first quarter. And then you're going to see them all dip out, because the last thing you want to do is get these guys injured a couple of weeks before the season starts. So, and plus you still have to use, and from a coaching standpoint, you've got to use that information to decide who the hell am I keeping. So I don't think the coaches like losing the extra preseason game, because they're making hard decisions on those last 4 or 5 guys that are going to make the roster. But from the fan standpoint, you're like, whatever, dude, I want to know who I need to draft for my fantasy tight end. That's all I care about right now. Well, of course. Is there anyone else? He's 1-1. I mean, come on now. Did you see this thing that I had it on the Sports Flash either today or yesterday? The what Urban Meyer's got them doing in practice, where they're competing in drills, and then over the loudspeaker, the guy over the loudspeaker, he announces Tebow won, or whoever he went up against won. You see this?
No, I'll look into it.
I guess he did it at Florida and then carried it over to Ohio State. And it's supposed to generate competition. Right. So it'll be whatever drill they do, but it'll be a one-on-one drill with another player of your position. And they'll say so-and-so won, and they keep record of it. So whoever Tebow went up against, this other tight end, they split. They went 2-2 the day of that report. Right. It's interesting. I think it can work year 1. I don't know if you could continue to do that the longer you become an NFL coach, because you can't make it college and rah-rah-y when once you get a hold of these successful veterans. Work in Jacksonville in year 1. These are all a bunch of kids who are trying to make it in the league, right?
Right.
But you try to take that nonsense to the Buccaneers, and there's going to be a lot of laughing going on.
Yeah.
So found that.
Yeah, year 1. So not to sound like a Tennessee ball, but Jacksonville is young.
We're rebuilding, man. this is our year.
We are back, baby.
I'm going to be interested to watch Jets games and Jaguar games, because those are the 2 quarterbacks, and Bears games whenever Fields becomes quarterback. A lot of people think a lot of people think it won't happen in week 1. I think it could happen by week 2. Week 1 for the Bears is a Sunday night game, national stage against Los Angeles. Andy Dalton goes out there and throws 3 interceptions and 117 yards passing. Justin Fields, man, just start warming that arm up, buddy, because I've seen some video of him, and he's looked like a rookie, but he's also looked like a budding superstar. Justin Fields is the starting quarterback by the end of September, easily. But I think it's probably week 2 or week 3. NBA free agency before we have to roll on out of here.
Huh?
Supposedly it took place.
Huh?
Now,
not our team.
Well, that's what they say. They say it took place. I know it took place because we're losing players.
Right. It took place in Chicago. Good for them.
But dude, the Bulls have made some moves. How about it?
Good for Chicago, man. That'll be a fun team to watch.
They will, and I think it's good for basketball to have guys like Daniel Theus come into the
right. Nice.
Nah, I think he actually signed with. Didn't he leave Chicago? And he went
I think he left Chicago.
Yeah, he went to Houston. But
so you will get to watch him this year
at all. I'll get to see him. I'll get to see him on one highlight clip right before I change the channel.
You won't see him on Christmas Day for a while.
But getting DeRozan, getting Lonzo Ball, that surprised me because there were so many rumors that DeRozan was going to head to Miami with a Kyle Lowry and reunite.
No, I wanted to see that actually, but I mean, good for the Bulls, man. That'd be a fun little starting five.
Collins getting re-signed by Atlanta. I know you really wanted him. It would have to have been like a sign and trade because he was a restricted free agent. But it doesn't look like that's where they're going. It looks like they signed him to keep him. I don't see anything in the NBA that changes what happened last year in the NBA in this free agency, in the big scope. Not necessarily that you're going to get the Suns versus Bucks because a lot of injuries took place.
Right.
Assuming that they're all healthy, the odds-on favorite's going to be the Nets. And especially with them adding Kemba. I mean, sorry, not Kemba. Kemba went to the Knicks. But the Nets, who the hell am I trying to think of?
Westbrook, the Lakers.
Well, Westbrook went to the Lakers, but not Kemba, the poor man's Kemba, Patrick Mills. They had to do something because what's his name? Kyrie is never healthy.
Or sane.
And so that's going to be an under the radar kind of signing that I think is going to help the Nets. But really it's going to come down to, does he care and will he give it his all? Because I believe Harden, I believe Durant will.
Right.
Brooklyn is going to be the team to beat in the East. The West, do you think the Lakers are going to be? I mean, I really think the Lakers are going to just get hurt. I think they're going to be old and get hurt.
I did too. I think that I was telling Bobby this. I was like, I think Chris Paul at his age, he believes in that Phoenix team. So I think he could have went to the Lakers and signed if he thought they were going to win it. But I think he believes in that same team. So, I mean, I'll be watching a lot of Suns basketball next year. After Christmas, probably around July.
By the way, Michael says the J&J is the only one not trying to set up a booster. That's because they're going to be out of business. No one's going to take no one's going to take the J&J, and it's going to be out of business. So that's another thing to think about is that they won't have a booster available. So that's weird. Because all your vaccines have boosters essentially. They don't call them that, but that's essentially what they were. Back to the NBA though, I don't see anything that changed. I think you're probably going to get Utah and Phoenix in the finals, and I think you're going to get Brooklyn and probably Milwaukee in the finals. But you could convince me that someone else could slip in over the East.
The more I look in the East, and me and Bobby talked about it, the Celtics might not make the playoffs.
Who cares if they make the playoffs? They're not going to do anything if they do, unless they make a trade at the deadline. Now and that's the one thing that I think will be different with Brad Stevens. I think he's going to be willing to make moves. I think he wants to see what he has in year one, which is asinine because he's been coaching this team for years, so he knows what he has. But what this team looks like with the healthy Brown and a healthy Tatum that they can essentially lean on. that he's going to have to make that move for the number 3 guy.
Right.
He helped. He helped the front court, right? But they're going to have to probably get a third scorer that they can.
Well, I mean, they're not. Him and Smart are into it, so we're getting rid of Smart. Apparently, I don't mind our bigs down there with Horford and Williams. I think that's going to be a nice little set down there. But yeah, I mean, if we get rid of Smart, we're going to need somebody. I mean, we signed the other day. I already forgot who we signed, but it's nobody that's going to come save our team. Josh Richardson or whatever his name was, and now we're looking at Danny Green.
Right. I mean, now we're looking at guys who are all like in their late 30s, and it's like, okay, well, that's a Band-Aid. But as far as bringing someone in, I'm sure the rumors will start flying around, beginning of next year. But if they're going to make a real move, you cannot just have Tatum and Brown being the only scorers when you're going to go up against the Nets in the playoffs. You're going to have that third guy, wherever it comes from, Damian Williams, wherever it comes from,
Lillard.
I want Damian Williams.
I know you do. You mentioned it multiple times on the show. Multiple.
I want Damian Williams. I don't care about this Damian Lillard.
I know you do, Reggie. Right? I know you do.
But I guess you're going to hold on to Lillard. I really thought he was going to be a Knick. I'm really, really surprised that he is still in Portland. I know them getting Kemba Walker makes them think that it has the Knicks fans excited, but dude, that guy's got some chronic knee problems.
Yeah, and I like Kemba.
I wish him well, man. I'm not wishing against him. I wish him well, but between him and Derrick Rose, dude, there's some injury issues there that are just bound to creep up. Yeah, if this is a video game, man, you've really added something. But they're gonna have to actually go out there and play real basketball. So I don't know. That's if we can't get Damian Williams to the Celtics, I think I'm gonna quit watching.
Until June.
What's that?
I said until June when the playoffs start.
Do you think that they're going to lay out the schedule exactly the way it used to be? Start in October and end in June?
I hope so. I mean, I know you wanted to start in December, but I always like going on vacation to watch. That was my first vacation here. I always like watching basketball on vacation. It's a nice little added nighttime thing to do. So I hope they stick with it.
Well, when you go on vacation, there would be basketball on if you started it later.
I don't go in the middle. I go early. I don't go mid.
Okay, but the playoffs would be going on. It's not like they would be like at the All-Star break.
Well, I'm saying like this year we went in May and there was nothing in there, and then I went in the end of July and there was nothing there. Although it was at the very Game 6. Never mind, it was Game 6. Back when I used to go on vacation, I get me like at least a whole championship.
First of all, you go on too many vacations. Second of all, May is when they would be starting the playoffs in my world. Would be late May, and then I would say start the playoffs on Memorial Day weekend, like they did this year, and then end it towards the end of July. But instead, they'll probably have it go on during April, where there's a lot of other things going on, and they're eventually going to bankrupt the sport. But that's not my business because I won't be watching this in 20 years. I'll be baseball, football, and/or dead. All right, let's go ahead and turn back time. All right. On this date, by the way, really good. This date in history on Take Me Out to the Ball Game today, but I won't look ahead to that because it's going to be. I don't want to ruin it. On this date, 1937, the Braves become the first National League team to lead off a game with back-to-back home runs. At Wrigley Field, Roy Johnson and Rabbit Warsler each go deep. Oh, how the game has changed. It took till 1937 for a National League team to go back-to-back home runs and start a game. I mean, really? I mean, we're talking about wow. Also, on this date, 1952, check this out. I don't know what you'll be doing at age of 46, but Satchel Paige at age 46, coming out of the Negro Leagues, becomes the oldest pitcher to win What's that?
I said I will not be doing that.
He becomes the oldest pitcher to win a complete game shutout with a 1-0 victory against the Tigers. Pretty impressive, right? He went 12 innings.
Jeez.
12 inning, 1-0 shutout against the Tigers.
Yeah, I probably could do more than 4.
You would have never made it in the Negro League. All right. Birthdays.
It's your birthday today.
All right. Dead guy. Let's grab him first. I'm going to go with Ken Strong. NFL, AFL halfback from Staten Island. Played for the New York Yankees and the New York Giants. Yes, the Yankees were an NFL team. One of the first quote-unquote halfbacks in the National Football League. All right, next guy. Dusty Rhodes. No, not that Dusty Rhodes. Australian baseball coach. I think the other Dusty Rhodes, is he still with us? I don't think he is he? The wrestler? Joey would know that answer. I do not. But here's one that you'll know from Key West, Florida, which I didn't know he was from Key West. NBA center, David Robinson. Is 56 years young today. One of my favorite players of all time. Just a class act across the board. Can you imagine him in Key West?
No, I imagine him I imagine the Navy or Army, whatever he was at.
Right, but Key West, dude, there's nothing but old people out there. And then here comes some guy 7 foot tall going, dude, we got to get you, playing basketball. Also, 48 years old today. Rap artist Max Kellerman is 48 years old today. Oh, Rappy McRappy. What is your walk-off for the day?
Hopefully I don't have COVID. My daughter, especially just because my daughter has her first soccer game tomorrow, so she's really been digging this. So she actually got into it more than I thought she would. So looking forward to seeing her play tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Hope you don't either, but more importantly, I just hope you get better, because just because you don't have COVID doesn't mean you don't have something. So we wish you well on that. Today is International Beer Day. It is also National Fresh Breath Day. It doesn't seem like those two would go together.
They go hand in hand.
And it's also National Wiggle Your Toes Days and National Water Balloon Today. So tie that all together. Get you a mint, drink some International Beer, wiggle your toes, and do what you will with the balloon, water balloon. Kind of like never mind. I'll leave that joke alone. that might get me ripped off the air. We will see y'all tomorrow for the handicapper show, as we're going to talk some fantasy football is right around the corner. We're only a few weeks away from Matt Card getting his ass kicked again in fantasy football. So
love every year.
If anyone needs to watch it, needs to be you, son. All right. Get well soon, my friend.
Thanks, brother.
It's Friday, working stiffs. Everybody.
4, 3, 2, 1. Happy weekend! Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette.